This is the homework solution for page 236, numbers 11, 13, 27, 29, and 35. You have number 11 right here. It asks, write an equation in point slope form for the line that passes through each point with the given slope. Then graph the equation. For this, I will not graph it. I will only put it in point slope form. Point slope form, right here, I can make it red for you, is y equals mx plus b. Okay, if you would like to see the graph being graphed, you have to watch another video. I have the point here, 5 comma 3, and the slope equals to 7. Okay, what I'm going to do is I've noticed that I have a point and a slope, so I will use the point slope form. So let me first of all label my information. X1 equals to 5, Y1 equals to 3, because this is X and this is Y, part of the order pair, and M is the slope, which is going to be equal to 7. My first step is always to label the information. Here I also say that I'm going to be using the point slope form. Okay. All right. Okay. Then I have Y equals Y1, y minus y1 equals to m parentheses x minus x1 close parentheses, and that is point slope form. The reason why it's called point slope form is because there is a point and there is a slope. Now I plug in my information. Y minus 3 equals to 7 parentheses x minus 5. Y1 was 3, so I made the substitution 3 here. M was equal to 7, so I put 7 here. And x1 is equal to 5, because that's it. Okay, here after I substitute, I have to distribute. Okay, 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 5 is 35. Okay, minus minus. The reason why I distribute is I'm going to try to get it into y equals mx plus b form. Okay, I add 3 to both sides because I'm trying to get y alone. Now I should get y equals to 7x minus 32. I simplify this. I am done because it is now in slope-intercept form. The reason why you should have it in slope-intercept form is now you can actually graph this. Okay, this is the only reason why you want it in slope-intercept form. It's easier to graph. Okay, so but here this is how it looks like in point slope form after the substitution, but this is the slope-intercept form, so you can graph. Okay, there you go. 13 has gives me the same directions. It asks me to write an equation in point slope form for a line that passes through each point with a given slope, then graph. Okay, I have the point -6 comma -3 with the slope of -1. My first step, I notice that I have a point and a slope, so I would use the point slope form. Let's label my information. X1 equals to -6, Y1 equals to -3, M, which is the slope, is equal to -1. I always label my information first. Next, I plug into point slope form. Here's my point slope form, and I plug it in. Y1 became -3. Do you see that substitution? Okay, I literally went Y1 became -3. Okay, there was a negative here, but the negative still remains there. Okay, I was just want to show you how the substitution looks like. M is equal to -1 right there, and x1 was equal to -6. I make it right there. I make that substitution so you could see where it goes. Now I can simplify. Okay, the minus the negative is the same thing as in addition, and a minus and negative is the same thing as in addition. There you go, right? That's what I do after I simplify, okay? Some of you go from this step to this step automatically, which is okay if you can keep track of the negative. But for me, I'm going to show 2 steps so I do not get confused by my negative. Next, I need to distribute. -1 times x is -1x. -1 times 6 is -6. That's what it looks like after distributive. I need to get y alone because I want it in y equals mx format so I can graph. I subtract 3 to both sides. I should get y equals -1x minus 9. Okay, that is after I simplify. I'm done because it is now in slope-intercept form. Sometimes you might see it like this. Okay, both answers are correct. Right, now I can actually use this to graph. Alright, next, it says write each equation in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form looks like this. It looks like a y equals mx plus b. Okay, so like here, like what we did is to go from point slope form into this. We have to distribute and do some isolation using the inverse property. Alright, so number 27, I have y minus 6 equals to negative 2, parentheses x minus 7. That is the equation that is given in the problem. I'm going to distribute this negative 2, right, inside, so I can get rid of the parentheses because we always deal with the parentheses first. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 7 is positive 14. Okay, a negative times a negative is a positive. This is what I do after I distribute. It should look like that. Y is not alone yet, so I have to add 6 to both sides. Once I add 6 to both sides, what is left over on my left-hand side is a y. On my right-hand side, it's a minus 2x. 14 plus 6 is 20. Now I am done because it is now in slope-intercept form. There is a slope, and there is a intercept right there. It is in the format y equals mx plus b. Therefore, I am done. Next, okay, number 23 gives me the same direction. I want it in slope-intercept form. I am given it in point slope form. So here's my equation. Y plus 5 equals to negative 6 parentheses x plus 7. I see this is in point slope form. I have to get rid of the parentheses by distributing the negative to each term on the inside of the parentheses. Negative 6 times x is negative 6x. Negative 6 times 7 is negative 42. Okay. Next, what I do is, I've noticed I already got rid of the parentheses by distributing. Now I need to isolate the y alone, so I have to subtract 5 to both sides. I wrote add here. It's supposed to be subtract 5 to both sides. Okay, subtract. Okay, 5 to both sides. What's left over on my left-hand side is a y minus negative 6x minus 49. Okay, I am done because it is in the format y equals mx plus b, and now I can graph. Okay. Next, this problem is a word problem. Okay. The number of copies of a movie rented at a video kiosk decreased at a constant rate of 5 copies per week. In the 6th week after the movie was released, 4 copies were rented. How many copies were rented during the 2nd week? So this problem, you could probably set up one of these equations, but an easier way of doing it is to create a model for yourself for it to make sense. This is what I have. Okay, and I'm going to show you how I got that afterwards, okay? So I am going to make a chart. Okay, let me make the chart here. Woo. Okay. And this is going to be the weeks. This is the week. And this is going to be number of copies. Alright, so let's do add some rows here. Oh. Okay. This is the 1st week, 2nd week, 3rd week, 4th week, 5th week, 6th week, 7th week, 8th week, 9th week, and 10th week. Let's just do it 10 weeks, okay? I just want to list out, some weeks so I could get going. Here it says, at the 6th week after the movie was released, 4 copies was rented. So here's the 6th week, and it says 4 copies, right? There you go. I got that information, okay? That is this part here, all right? Now, it says this is the constant rate. It decreases 5 movies per week. So from this week to this week, okay, right? It is, so for the 7th week, it is week 6 minus 5, right? Because it says decrease minus 5. So week 6, right, minus 5 is equal to the number of copies I have. So what is week 6? I had 4 copies. So 4 copies. What is 4 minus 5? Negative 1. Doesn't really make sense. Does this make sense? Can you have -1 copies? You really can't, right? Doesn't make sense. So this is confusing afterwards. Let's just work backwards because they say how many movies were returned during the second week. I'm trying to look for this. Okay? I'm trying to look for something like this. So this decreases, right? So to go up, you do the opposite. So here, right, 4, right? Um, what number, there's a number that decreases by 5 will equal to 4, right? This is, okay, this is week 5, right? So what week 5, right? So if you do the inverse operation by adding 5 to both sides, you should have gotten 9 here. There were 9 copies here. Right? Now you just keep working backwards. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So there were 14 copies here. Again, you add 5 each time because you see how it's decreasing each week. So if you want to go backwards, you have to add 5 to each side. Okay? 4 plus 5 equals 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. 14 plus 5 is 19. 19 plus 5 is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. I seem to have my answer here, right? At the second week, I have 24 copies. Let me see if that makes sense right here. That's also my answer. So, during the second week, 24 copies were rented, okay? This doesn't make sense. Normally, if you keep going down, 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 right? Can you have negative copies of a movie? This doesn't make sense. So, this would just be 0. Okay? You cannot have negative copies of a movie. This is why these are 0. Everything else works out fine because I realized at my second week I had 24 copies. Number 35 is just there to help you think about linear equations and how you can create a chart to give you a visual representation of the model. Alright, there you go. That is the homework solution for page 236, number 11, 13, 27, 29, and 35.